Hi guys, this is Divyansh Gupta, CAT 1900 Percentiler from IIMpact.mba. For your benefit, I have launched a free course for the CAT 2025 most probable questions. Check the link in description and enroll now for free. Alright, question number 1. Ramu and Somu start running simultaneously from two ends of a track in opposite direction and with speeds in the ratio of 2 is to 3. So we'll quickly make the diagram. Ramu and Somu and their speeds are 2 is to 3. Every time they meet, they interchange their speed and also reverse their direction. At how many distinct points on the track do they meet each other if they run continuously between the two ends of the track? Now, for questions like this, a lot of people use relative motion, counting the distance that they have to travel between each subsequent meeting point as twice the initial gap. However, that is a tricky situation because it depends on a lot of factors, including the ratio of their speed. So, the best way to do this question is to actually plot out the points. Uh, at max, you will have to plot 6 distinct points, so which is not a big task at all. So, their speeds right now are 2 is to 3. So they will meet at a situation like this where Ramu has covered 2x and S has covered 3x distance. Now, after this meeting point, Ramu will switch his direction to this side and his speed will become thrice, while Somu's speed will become twice and his direction will reverse. Now, again, until the next meeting point, ideally, S moving with a speed of 2 times out of the 2 is to 3 ratio should cover 4x distance. So when he covers 4x distance, he would be somewhere around here where this distance is x. In the meanwhile, Ramu with a proportionate speed of 3 times should be traveling 6x distance. Correct? So this is 2x and then this would be 4x, which means this meeting point is correct. So their next meeting point will be this point, and this distance is x, and this distance will become 2x now. Now, after this, Ramu's speed will change direction. He'll move back towards left, and his speeds will again be 2 times of the proportionate, and Somu's speed will be Somu 3 times. Now, at this speed, Ramu should cover 4x and Somu should cover 6x. So that would put Ramu back at his starting point here, and Somu will cover this distance, which would be this x plus 5x, which is 6x. So this is also correct. So the third meeting point will be this point, which was Ramu's starting point. After this, both of their speeds will be towards right. Ramu will travel at a speed of proportionate 3 and Somu at a speed of proportionate 2. Given this situation, Ramu should travel 6x distance and Somu should travel 4x distance. And if we plot that, we will get this meeting point again, because this distance is 4x and Ramu's distance would be 5x whole plus x in the return journey. So this would be the fourth meeting point. However, this is same as the second meeting point, after which your meeting points will start to repeat. Moving on, Ram and Shan ran a 1500-meter race. Ram won by 600 meters, which means that Ram finished the race, ran 1500 meters, in which duration Sham ran 600 meters less. So Sham ran 900 meters, which means their speeds are in the ratio 5 is to 3. Now, Sham challenges Ram to another race. This time, Ram starts 300-meter behind the starting point, while Sham starts 200-meter ahead of the starting point. So, Ram will start 300 meters behind the starting point. Sham will start 200 meter ahead of the starting point, and the entire race was of 1500 meters, which means 1300 meters will be left in this new race. Now, by what distance will the winner win? So, first let us decide who is going to be the winner. Let us first calculate how much distance will Ram cover if Sham is to cover this 1300-meter to finish the race. So, if Sham covers 1300 meters, Ram will cover 5 by 3 times of that, because his speed is 5 by 3 times of Sham's speed. This will turn out to be, if you divide 1300 by 3, you will get this as 4 400 something, and 400 something into 5 will be 2000. But Ram only has to run 300, 200, and 1300, which is a total of 1800 meters, which means Sham would not be able to complete this before Ram, because uh, Ram would have traveled 2000 something meters corresponding to Sham's 1300 meters, which means Ram is going to be the winner. So Ram will cover 1800 meters and win the race. In that duration, Sham will cover three-fifth of this distance, which is going to be 360 into 3, which is 1080 meters. So Sham started here, he covered 1080 meters, in which duration Ram finished the race. So the distance between them will be 1300, this entire length minus the 1080 that Sham has covered, or 220 meters. So the answer for question number 2 will be B. All right, so moving on, next question, question number 3. Two boys running simultaneously from the same point in the same direction. Okay, the point on track at which they meet for the fifth time and the 17th time, that particular point is the same. So the fifth meeting point and the 17th meeting point, the time period for these meeting points is going to be L, which is the length of the track, divided by A minus B. I'm saying A is the faster one. So 5 times this period is going to be the meeting time for the fifth meeting point, and 17L by A minus B will be the time taken to get to the 17th meeting period. Now the distances traveled by the person B in these durations will be 5LB upon A minus B and 17LB upon A minus B. Now, what we are really saying here is that the fifth meeting point is same as the 17th meeting point, which means B would have traveled integral multiples of the track between the fifth and the 17th meeting point, because these two meeting points are the same, right? So if I take the distance of the if I take the difference of the distances traveled by B between these two meeting points, I'll get 12 times LB divided by A minus B. This should be an integral multiple of L. Now if I cancel the L both sides and I divide with B on the left side, I'll get 12 divided by A by B minus 1 is equal to K, an integer. Now A by B is given to us as N, and they are asking us which of the following is not a possible value of N. So I am getting K is an integer which should be equal to 12 divided by N minus 1. So now I can put values of N here. N equal to 2 will work because I'll get K as 12. N is equal to 6 will give me K is equal to 12 by 5, which is not an integer. So 6 is not possible, and 6 will be my answer. You can check for 5 and 4 corresponding to these two also. You will get K as an integer. So answer will be option number B. Moving on, question number 4. A man rowing upstream in a river accidentally dropped his hat into the river. Okay. After traveling a distance of 3x, he notices his loss and immediately turns back to retrieve his hat. So the stream is going in right direction and you are initially traveling upstream, so you are going in the left direction. He caught up with his hat after it had covered a distance of 2x. So the hat was dropped here and it covered a distance of 2x, and then you caught up with it. So if the speed of the stream was k% of the speed at which he rose in still water, we have to find the value of k. Now the best way to do this question is through relative motion. Obviously, when I'm using the relative motion, I should focus on the timings. Now, let's say I'm sitting on the frame of reference of the water. In that frame, the hat is going to be stationary, which means in this frame, the person went a distance towards left and then he turned back and came back to the same starting point. Now, because in this particular frame, relative to the water, the speed of the person is going to be same in this direction also and in this direction also, which means if the total time for this journey is t, the person would have done his leftward journey in t by 2 times. Which means in our frame of reference, in t by 2 time period, the person would have traveled 3x distance with the speed of his rowing speed which is boat, minus the speed of the stream, which is s. Now, in this time frame, in this current time frame only, because the speed of the hat is constant throughout, the hat traveled 2x distance in time period of t, which means the hat would have traveled in t by 2 time period a distance of x, because speed is constant. So if time is half, the distance would also have been halved. So half of 2x is x. This distance the hat would have traveled at a speed of s. Now in the reality frame, I have the distances traveled, speed at which these distances have been traveled, which means that the ratio of the distance should be equal to the ratio of the speed. So 3x upon x should be equal to boat minus stream upon stream. And from here, I'll get 4 times stream is equal to boat, or stream is equal to boat by 4. So the speed of the stream was k% of the speed at which he rose in still water. So his the stream speed is 25% of the rowing speed, which is the boat speed. So the answer will be 25. In a 200-meter race, A beats B by 4 meter, which means A travels a distance of 200 meter when B travels a distance of 196 meter, which means the ratio of their speeds is 50 is to 49. Now B beats C by 10 meter in the same race. So if B travels 200 meters, C will travel 190 meters, which means that the ratio of their speeds is 20 is to 19. Now, if C and A should finish the race at the same time, what head start should A give C? Now, because A is faster than B and B is faster than C, it means A is going to be faster than C. So, what we want is A to finish the 200 meters, in which time period C will travel a certain distance, and we want to give C this much amount of head start so that they both finish at the same time. So now ratio of A speed to C speed will be 50 by 49 into 20 by 19. Now I want A to run 200 meters, which means C will have to run 200 into 49 into 19 divided by 50 into 20 meters, which will come out to be, this is 10 and this will turn out to be 5. So 49 into 19 divided by 5. Total minus this distance that we have calculated, 49 into 19 divided by 5, should be the answer. So let us quickly calculate this. This is 50 into 19, which is 950, minus 119. So this is 931 divided by 5. So 931 divided by 5 is going to be 1, and then you will get 43, which is 8, and then you will get 31, which is going to be 6, and then this is going to be 186.2. So 200 minus 186.2 will be the answer, and which will turn out to be 13.8, which is option number D. Moving on. Three runners ABC start simultaneously from the same point and run along a circular track of length 500 meters in the same direction at speeds of 5, 8, and 15 kilometer per hour. What is the time taken by them to meet for the first time? So the track length is 1 by 2, and if I take A to be stationary, the relative speed will be 3 kilometer per hour, and for B and A, and the relative speed will be 15 minus 5, which is 10 kilometer per hour for C and A, which means the time periods that I have to take an LCM of is going to be 1 by 6 and 1 by 20. 1 by 6 is 10 minutes and 1 by 20 is 3 minutes. So the LCM of 10 minutes and 3 minutes is going to be my answer, which is going to be 30 minutes. So a pretty straightforward question that way. Moving on. Amit and Dhiren running towards each other can cover the distance between Devgiri and Aurangabad in 30 minutes. Now, Amit reduces his speed by 40% and Dhiren increases his speed by 50%. They cover the distance running towards each other in the same time, which means Amit's speed plus Dhiren's speed, and the total distance between these two cities divided by this relative speed, which is going to be the time to meet, which is 30 minutes. It is also going to be the same as t divided by if I reduce Amit's speed, it will become 0.6 a, and Dhiren's speed increases by 50%. So 1.5 d. This should also be 30 minutes, which means 0.6 a plus 1.5 d should be equal to a plus d, or zero point 0.4 a is equal to 0.5 d, or a is equal to 5 d by 4. All right. Now, how much time will Amit take to cover the distance from Deogri to Aurangabad and back if he's running at his normal speed? So, the total distance that he will have to travel is 2t divided by a, is what I have to find, and I will use this equation to find t by a. So I'll replace d as 4a by 5. So I'll get t divided by a plus 4a by 5 is equal to 30 minutes, which is going to be t 5t divided by 9a is equal to 30 minutes, or t by a is equal to 54 minutes. So I want to calculate 2t by a, which is going to be 2 times this, which is 108, which will be the answer for question number 7. Moving on, two persons are walking beside a railway track at speeds of 3 and 6. A train came from behind and crosses them in 80 and 120 seconds. So let's say the speed of the train is t times kilometer per hour. So t kilometer per hour. So the crossing time will be, for person 1 will be the length of the train divided by t minus 3 kilometer per hour, and this you can convert into meter per second through the relevant multiplier. Because I intend to take the ratio, I'm not worried about this. This is equal to 80 seconds, and the length of the train divided by t minus 6 into the relevant multiplier to convert this speed into meter per second is going to be 120 seconds. Now, because I intended to take the ratio all along, I didn't bother with this multiplier, which is going to be 5 by 18, which will convert this kilometer per hour speed into meter per second. So let's take the ratio. We'll get t minus 6 upon t minus 3 is equal to 2 by 3, which will give me 3t minus 18 is equal to 2t minus 6, or t is equal to 18 minus 6, or 12 kilometer per hour. Now I have to find the time in seconds taken by the train to cross a man who is stationary. So that answer will be length of the train divided by t. Now I already know that if I replace t with 12, I'll get L divided by 9 is equal to 80 seconds, and I want to find L by 12. So I'm going to do 80 into 9 divided by 12. This will be L by 12, which is going to be my answer. So this is 3 by 4. This is 20. So 20 into 3, that is 60. So option B. Two trains of length 500 meter and 300 meter respectively run on parallel tracks. When the trains run in the same direction, the faster train takes 80 seconds to cross the slower train. So this is the scenario. There is, two trains. Now, if you want the train behind to overtake the train in front, you want this point and this point to overlap. The distance between these 2 points will be sum of the lengths of the individual trains, which is going to be 800 meters. So 800 meters divided by the difference of their speeds, which is going to be a minus b, is equal to 80 seconds. Now, if they're running towards each other, even then the distance that you want to cover in the relative frame is still going to be 800. But the speed to cover this will be a plus b. So the time period here is 20 seconds. It's given to us. So now we can take the ratio. We'll get a plus b upon a minus b is equal to 4, or a plus b is equal to 4a minus 4b. So which will give me 5b is equal to 3a. Now we have to find the speed of the slower train, which is going to be b. So I have a is equal to 5b by 3. So I can do that now. 800 meters divided by a, which is 5b by 3, minus b is equal to 80 seconds. So I will get 2b by 3 is equal to 10 seconds, 10 meter per second, or b is equal to 15 meter per second. And now I can convert this meter per second into kilometer per hour by doing 15 into 18 by 5, because kilometer per hour to meter per second is 5 by 18, so meter per second to kilometer per hour is going to be 18 by 5. So this will give me 3 into 18, which is 54. So this was a unnecessary calculation mistake avenue. Once you get a 15 answer, you might feel tempted to put that here, because it is also integer, but because they have asked us the speed in kilometer per hour, we'll have to deal with it that way. One other way to avoid this mistake would be to just take the distances and times already in kilometers and hours. But honestly, 80 second in hours is going to be a very, a number with a lot of decimal points. So the answer for this question is going to be 54 kilometer per hour. Moving on, two persons A and B simultaneously start running from the same point around a circular track in the same direction. They meet each other for the first time after 15 minutes from the start, during which time B had completed exactly 5 laps. Now, if you are meeting for the first time, the faster one would have covered one additional lap, would have traveled one additional circumference distance as compared to the smaller one. So they have given us that speed of A is more than speed of B, which means B takes 5 revolutions were taken in 15 minutes, which means one revolution was taken in 3 minutes. So B's time period is 3 minutes to run around the track. A would have covered 6 revolutions in the same 15 minutes. So A's time period is 15 by 6, which is 2.5 minutes to cover one entire lap. Now, instead, if they had run in opposite direction, after how many minutes from the start would their 11th meeting have taken place? So the length of the track into 11 divided by their relative speed, if they were running in opposite direction, which is going to be A plus B. So B we are getting as L by 3 minutes, and A we are getting as L by 2.5 minutes. So we can just substitute that here. We'll get L into 11 divided by L by 3 plus L by 2.5, which is, once I cancel L, I'll get 11 divided by 7 5.5 divided by 7.5. So this 5.5 will cancel this will become 2, and this 7.5 will go above. So 2 into 7.5 will become 15. So 15 minutes will be the answer for question number 10. Moving on. X and Y are two cities on Mumbai Delhi Expressway. Okay, this is X, this is Y. Amitabh starts from X towards Y, and Dharmendra starts from Y towards X at the same time. So after crossing each other, they take 4 and 36 hours respectively. So let's say they meet at this point. The time period to meet will be distance divided by sum of their speeds, and let's call that A plus D. Now, this particular distance is going to be Amitabh's speed into this time period, and this distance is going to be Dharmendra's speed into this time period. Now, Amitabh will cover this distance at a speed of A, and Dharmendra will cover this distance at a speed of D. So, one of the results that a lot of people memorize, which you can because it's going to be directly applicable in a scenario like this, is that if you multiply these two time periods, so this one is given to us as 4 and this one is given to us 36. If you multiply these two, you will get, A and D's will cancel out. You will get D by A plus D whole square, which is what? D by A plus D was the time period to meet, correct? So which would be T square. So 36 into 4 is going to be 144, which means time period to meet is 12 hours. So to get from X to Y, Amitabh would have traveled first 12 hours to meet and then 4 more hours. That is 16 hours. In order to cover the same distance, Dharmendra would have first traveled for 12 hours to get to the meeting point and then an additional 36 hours. So Dharmendra would have traveled 48 hours. Now, if the ratio of the time taken to travel the same distance, basically x to y and y to x, is 16 is to 48, which is 1 is to 3, then their speed ratios will be the opposite of this time ratio, or 3 is to 1. That is option number B. So this result can be used here, or if you don't want to memorize this, you can get to, these two values and derive it. It's up to you. Moving on. The visibility on a certain road is limited to a distance of 80 meters due to fog. There is a cart and there is a car. For how long will the car be visible to the driver of the cart? So it will be visible in the relative frame 80 meters when the car is 80 meters behind the cart, until the car crosses the 80-meter mark ahead of the cart, which means in the cart's frame of reference the car has to travel 160 meters, and this the car will travel because they are both traveling in the same direction. This distance of 160-meter will be traveled at a relative speed of 44 minus 8, that is 36 kilometer per hour, which is 36 into 5 by 18 meter per second. So this is going to be the time period, and because time period is constant in relative frame, it will be the same in the original frame as well. We don't need to convert this time. This would be the final time, your final answer. So this will be 160 divided by 10, or 16 seconds. Moving on, a train travels at a uniform speed of 15 kilometer per hour. So 15 kilometer per hour into some time period is going to be the distance between A and B, which is given to us to be same as if the speed was 10 kilometers more, that is 25, into time would have been 8 hours lesser. So these two quantities are given to us to be same, which means if I cancel this, I'll get 10t is equal to 200, or t is equal to 20 kilometer per, or rather t is equal to 20 hours. T is the time period. Now, what is the distance between A and B? It was given to us as 15 into T. So 15 into 20, which is going to be 300, will be my answer. Option number B. Moving on. Boat started from a point in a river and traveled a certain distance upstream, after which it turned back and returned to its starting point. If the boat covered the round trip journey in 2 hours and the net speed of the boat upstream was 25% of that downstream, how much more time did the boat take to travel upstream than what it took to travel downstream? Now, a lot of people would want to, do this question like d by speed of the boat minus stream, and d by speed of the boat plus stream. They will calculate these two time as 2 hours, right? And then they will realize that we are being given net speed of the boat upstream is 25% of that downstream. So they have already given you the ratio of the speeds in the original frame for upstream and downstream, which is 25% of the downstream speed. So the time taken would be in the ratio, because 25% is 1 is to 4. The time taken would be in the ratio 4 is to 1, because the distance is same upstream and downstream, which means if the time taken for downstream is x, time taken for upstream is 4x. You don't really need to deal with these variables, because we are given that the addition of these two is 2 hours. So we get 5x is equal to 120 minutes, or x is equal to 24 minutes. So downstream time is 24 minutes, and upstream time is going to be 4 into this, which is going to be 96 minutes. So how much more time for upstream? 96 minus 24, which is 72. Option number D. Moving on. A 1,000-meter long race, Tarun gives a head start of 40 meters to Amar and still beats Amar by 10 meters, which means Tarun ran 1,000 meters, and corresponding to that Amar ran only 950 meters, because a 40-meter head start was given, and Amar lost by 10 meters. So this distance is going to be 2000 1000 minus 40 minus 10, which is 950. So Amar actually ran from this point to this point, in the duration when Tarun ran from starting to ending. So this is their speed ratio, uh, their distance ratio, which is also going to be their speed ratio, which is 20 by 19. Now, the distance by which Tarun will beat Amar when Amar gives a head start of 40 meters to Tarun. Now, Tarun only has to run 960 meters. corresponding to which Amar will run 960 into 19 by 20. Correct? This comes out to be 96 into 19 by 2. This is 48. So 48 into 20 is going to be 960. And I'm going to subtract 148 from that. So 960 minus 48, that is 912 meters is what Amar will run. So the initial situation was this: Amar was here, Tarun was here. This gap is 40 meters. Now Tarun reaches the finishing point, in which duration Amar only covers 912 meters. So the distance by which Tarun is beating is this particular gap, which is 1000 minus 912, or 88 meters. So the answer for this question is going to be 88 meters. Moving on, Anu covers some distance at 4 kilometer per hour, and the rest is 6 kilometer per hour. Total distance covered is 50. So x by 4 plus 50 minus x by 6. This is going to be the total time. Now they have given me that the average speed of the entire journey is 5 kilometer per hour and the distance covered is 50, which means the total time is going to be what? 50 by 5, which is 10. Correct? So this is going to be the total time taken. From here, I can get the value of x as 20. So 20 by 4 is going to be 5 and 30 by 6 is also going to be 5. So then how much distance is covered at 4 kilometer per hour, which is x, which is 20. So directly we are getting our answer from this. Moving on. Distance between two stations x and y is 220 kilometers. All right. Now train 1 leaves x at a speed of 80 kilometer per hour after half an hour. So in this half an hour, this train would have traveled 40 kilometers, which means that the gap remains of 180 kilometers. Another train leaves y for x at a speed of 100 kilometer per hour. So this is the situation that we are at now. You have to cover 180 kilometers at a relative speed of 80 plus 100, which is 180 kilometer per hour, which means that you will travel 1 hour more after this. So in that 1 hour, this train T1 will travel how much distance? 80 into 1, which is going to be 80 kilometers. So the distance from X of the meeting point is going to be 40 plus 80, which is 120 kilometers. So answer for question number 17 is B. Moving on. So a car overtakes a bus traveling from Bangalore to Chennai at 6:30. So let's say this is the situation as 6:30 a.m. You have your bus and you have your car. Car reaches Chennai at 8 a.m. So car will reach at 8 a.m. Then the car will chill for 1 hour and then it starts back. So the car starts back at 9 a.m. and it meets the same bus at 9:30 a.m. traveling towards the destination. So if the speed of the bus is B and the speed of the car is C, would you say that the distance traveled by the bus between 6:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. is going to be 3B, 3 hours at a speed of B? This distance is going to be speed of the car into 1.5 hours, because it's crossed at 6:30 a.m. and reached that 8 a.m. So this is 1.5 times C. This distance is going to be what? The car traveled for half an hour at a speed of C, or so this is going to be 0.5 C, which means 1.5 C is equal to 3B plus 0.5 C, which gives me C is equal to 3B. So what this is telling me is the bus take thrice the time to cover the same distance as the car, because their speeds are in the ratio of 1 is to 3. Car speed is 3 times that of the bus. So car took half an hour to cover this, which means the bus will take 3 times this, or 1.5 hours to cover this. Now this is 9:30 and the bus will reach the destination in 1.5 hours more, or 11 a.m. Option number C. Moving on. A road with two cars at a distance of 500 kilometer driving in opposite direction. So there is one car, this is another car, A and B. All right. Left side has a speed of 40, right side has a speed of 60. A bird starts from the same location as the right side car, flies at a speed of 80 kilometer per hour. When it reaches the left side car, it turns in direction, and then it reaches the right car, it turns, it goes on something like this. Now we don't really have to get into all of this, because what they are asking us is total distance that the bird has covered till the moment the two cars reach each other. Because the bird speed has not changed, that the total distance that the bird will travel will be the constant speed, which is 80 kilometer per hour, into the duration. This duration is all we have to find. And isn't this duration the time to meet for these two cars? So the distance is 500 and the relative speed is 40 plus 60. So the time to meet is going to be 5 hours, which means the bird will travel 80 into 5, that is 400 kilometers, or option number B. Moving on. Person A starts descending from the first floor of a building to the ground floor on a descending escalator. Okay, so let's say the total number of steps is t, then the speed, or rather the time taken by person A to reach the ground is going to be a plus e, because the escalator is also descending and the person is also descending, so the speeds will get added up. uh, Another person B starts ascending from the ground floor of the building to the first floor using the same escalator. So, same distance will be covered by this person B. However, their speed will be 2a minus e. So, twice the speed of A would be the speed going up, which will be the intention of person B. However, the escalator will try to bring him down because the escalator is descending. So, this will be the total, effective speed of person B. Now, A and B take 30 steps and 120 steps respectively. So, the steps taken by A will be this time into A, and steps taken by B will be this time into B, and this is 30 and this is 120. We want to find the number of steps that are visible on the escalator. So, we want to find the value of T. All right, so we should, the speed of B is 2a. So I can just write this as 2a, and now I can divide these two. I will get 2a minus e divided by 2a plus 2e is equal to 1 by 4, which will give me 8a minus 4e is equal to 2a plus 2e, or 6a is equal to 6e, which is giving me a is equal to e. Now, what I have to find is, number of steps that are visible on the escalator when it is stationary. So, T divided by 2A into A is given to me as 30. So, if A and A is cancelled out, I'll get T is equal to 60 steps. So, the answer for question number 20 is going to be 6060. Moving on. Train approaches a tunnel AB. Okay, so this is your train and this is your tunnel AB. Inside a tunnel, CAT is located at a point that is 3/8 the distance of AB measured from the entrance A. So this is the CAT 3x and this is 5x. Train whistles, the cat runs. If the cat runs towards entrance A, the train catches the cat exactly at the entrance. So if this distance is d, then 3x divided by speed of the cat is going to be the time when cat reaches point A, which is going to be the same as the d divided by speed of the train t. So the train will also reach A at the same period. Similarly, if the cat runs in the right direction, it will take 5x divided by c time, which should be same as d plus 8x, the total distance traveled by train to reach point B, divided by speed of the train t. So from here I can substitute d by t. I'll get 5x by c is equal to 3x by c plus 8x by t, which will give me, if I cancel x, I'll get 2 by c is equal to 8 by t, or t by c is equal to 4. Speeds of the train to that of the cat is 4 is to 1. Option B. Moving on. Aisha started running from one point of a straight road at 5 hours. So this is Aisha, this is Bhumika. Bhumika started running towards Aisha at 6 hours. Okay, so Aisha ran for 1 hour, so the distance covered would be A. After which, Bhumika and Aisha, they are both running towards each other. They continued running till the opposite ends, turned back immediately, and coincidentally met again at the same point P. So their first meeting point and the second meeting point is the same. If they met at the first point for the first time at 7 hours, so this is your 6 hour situation, and they both traveled for 1 hour to reach their meeting point P for the first time, which means the meeting point will be here at a distance of A from this and at a distance of B from this, A into 1 and B into 1. Now, Bhumika will travel this 4A distance, 2A by 2A, at a speed of B, which should be same as Ayesha traveling B plus B, that is 2B, at a speed of A, which means 4A square is equal to 2B square, because you want to meet back at the same point, or A by B is equal to 1 by root 2, or option B.